Can you create a new personality? Hello, this is Shores of Infinity, Chris speaking with a video about the question if you can build or create a new personality. For years now, people keep telling and asking me about Joe Dispenza, who is one of the main protagonists of the manifestation movement and who explains things very clearly and intelligibly and scientifically. He's very good in explaining things and also very good at marketing. And apparently very charismatic too. But let's have a look at what he actually says. He says that there's no change possible with your old personality. Which is true. You cannot fix your old personality. It will always be flawed. Even if you try to heal it, try to perfect it, it will always be flawed. Because it is the main flaw of the whole thing. It's a big part of the problem, if there is one. He says the old emotions, the old thoughts, the old circuits, as he calls it, they cannot be improved upon. They have to be deprogrammed, and then a new personality has to be created and reprogrammed. With the whole usual manifestation shebang with already thinking and feeling things as if they were already true. Then he says new circuits will form and the body will experience stuff as if it were true, as if it had already happened, and a new personality will develop with all the biochemistry and neurology and circuits behind it, even genetically. And because he relates this to all the biochemistry and cloaks it in scientific language, it sounds very, very convincing. The other day, a friend of mine asked me to translate a 6 minutes long video of Joe Dispenza. I'll link it down below, where he explains the whole thing in 6 minutes. And she didn't know that I'm not such a big fan of Joe Dispenza. But I translated it for her anyway. So, let us assume it's really possible to create a new personality. It's possible to let go of the old one and to replace the old one with a new one that is more positive and healthy and more focused on joy and abundance and peace than the previous one. Less focus on lack and problems, destitution and desperation. Let us assume this is possible. You can exchange your old negative personality full of quirks with a new personality that works really well. Then you're healthy and have a lot of friends and no more problems and lots of money. What then? Well, if you want that, there is nothing speaks against trying this out or even doing this. If it's possible, do it, fine. But it has to be very clear that this has nothing to do with spirituality or enlightenment. Because this is sometimes how it is sold. That is somehow a combination of spirituality and science. It's neither natural science in terms of current biology, chemistry and physics or medicine, nor is it spiritual, nor is it psychology. But why is it not spiritual? It sounds very spiritual. Well, if we say that spirituality is the search for enlightenment, for absolute freedom, for moksha, for samadhi, whatever you want to call it, then what use is a new personality, I ask you? It's cool that you can exchange a personality one for another, but then don't you have the same problem again? Then you have a better personality. It's like you exchange your old decrepit car for a new shiny supercar, like a Tesla or a Maserati or a Lamborghini or so. It's better than before, yes, but it's still a car. You will never be able to fly in it. A car is a car, a personality is a personality, a dog is a dog, a toy is a toy. No matter how big or shiny or expensive or beautiful it is. If there's any goal in the search for enlightenment, then it must be to get rid of your personality once and for all. To get out of this game of playing that you are someone, that you are separate from the rest, that you are better or worse or taller or smaller or more beautiful or richer or more intelligent or whatever than anyone else, because it's this game of dualism, of separation, of evaluation, of labeling that creates the suffering, as Buddha has already found out 2,500 years ago or so. The only way to leave this world of pain, this delusion of pain and suffering, is to abandon your personality and plug in through your intuition into a higher source that some people call the divine and some people call nirvana and some people call I don't know what, enlightenment. Satchidananda, the supermind, so many words for it. And then there's peace. Peace is when your personality stops bothering you all the time. All these internal dialogues, all this blah 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 all the time. This talking in your head involuntarily stops if you disengage from your personality. And once you manage that, why would you possibly want to create a new one? Even if it's better, even if it's more positive, even if it's focused on abundance. It's just you're exchanging one illusion for another. You're brainwashing yourself. Why would you do that? Why would you want another illusion? That's the cipher thing. I would want to go back to the illusion, but I want a nicer illusion. That's what Cypher wants in Matrix 1. He woke up already and then he goes to the machines and says, okay, I will betray my friends if you plug me back into the mass delusion, but I want to be someone important. I want to eat well every day. I want to be rich. Sure, why not? But that is not enlightenment. All these manifestation teachers, they're saying exactly the right things. Because from a spiral dynamics perspective, they're most often centered in turquoise. They know how to say the right things. And turquoise already gets a little bit of a taste of freedom, taste of enlightenment, taste of peace. But those are the baby steps, the baby shoes. It's not the real thing, it's not the big thing. It's not geared towards the cause. It's like taking pills to get rid of the pain without looking what the pain actually is, where it came from, what is the cause of the pain. Sure, if you have a headache now and then, you can take an aspirin or an ibuprofen and the pain is gone. But why take it all the time, every day? Same with antidepressants. They dull you down, so you have less emotions and less thoughts, so you experience less pain. But you experience everything else less as well. And the personality is a very similar thing. A personality is a protection mechanism and a focusing mechanism. It protects you and it focuses you on one thing. You can always only focus on one thing. I know a lot of people think they can focus on many things. They're multitaskers, but it's actually not possible. A personality can only always focus on one thing. Yes, so you like when you look through a spyglass, through a microscope, then you see one thing very clearly, but you don't see all the rest. That's a personality. So, if you're looking through the microscope of your old personality, you might see a hunk of shit. And if you look through the microscope of the new manifestation, abundance personality, you might see a coin of gold. Or a molecule of shit in a molecule of gold. But it's not the whole thing. It's very much only a very small part of it. And if that's how you want to define reality, go for it, no problem. But it's not enlightenment. Enlightenment is to see everything that is possible for a human being to see, experience, perceive, and so on. And this you cannot do with a personality. The personality has to get out of the way first for you to see the whole thing. You cannot run around with a microscope attached to your eye. You have to get rid of it, even if it's unfamiliar first. A microscope is not the perfect tool to perceive everything. Only a few things. Only a certain part of the whole scale, certain aspect, certain stretch. So to make this very clear, I'm not against manifestation. I'm not against Joe Dispenza. But I want to make it clear that this has nothing to do whatsoever with enlightenment. Nothing. 0%. That's all. Thank you to all my patrons. Thank you for joining me as a patron. Thank you for liking and subscribing, giving me a thumbs up here. If you like the video, give it a rating. It helps other people find the channel. And see you soon.